Okay, so hopefully we won't have any internet issues. But like I said, I'll try to keep my eye on it just in case. So why don't we all find our seats and start to close your eyes. And I wasn't ready. I still had on my socks and my slippers. Okay, so let's just start to settle in. Any comfortable seat that feels nice for you. If you want to work on hip opening, which is always one of my favorite things too, this particular posture, this is Siddhasana, and it's more closed in with the feet than sitting like crisscross applesauce. You pull your feet way in, and then try to put your knees down to the ground. Sit up nice and tall, and you'll get a nice opening in your hips. Start taking a few deep breaths in and out. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I forgot to mute you guys. I'm gonna mute you. You guys stay seated. You might want to invite an intention into your practice. Today, remember that an intention is a positive affirmation. I am, I will, I hope for, I wish. Nothing negative, nothing that you want to change. You just make a statement. And it can be for yourself or others. To hold that intention in. And maybe with one last inhale and exhale, breathe that intention into your body and exhale out. And then let's open our eyes. And I would start with a twist. My low back is feeling like it needs a little twist out. So let's stay seated. And I'm going to take my right leg under my left. I'm going to point the right knee as straightforward as I can get it. And then I'm going to cross the left leg over so that my left ankle's on top of my left thigh. And then I'm going to squeeze my left leg into my torso by wrapping my right arm around it. Lift up tall through the spine and just look behind. You can use your left hand as a brace behind you. Sit up nice and tall. This is good for your hips too, the outer hip. One more inhale and exhale here. Maybe get a little bit deeper in your twist. And release. And then we'll switch sides. So right leg crosses over the left, sitting on that left hip, right ankle across the top of the left thigh. Squeeze the right leg into the torso, wrap around the left arm, right hand reaches behind, sit up nice and tall, and then take the twist. One last inhale, exhale here. Good. And then we'll release. Let's take Baddha Konasana quickly here. I feel like getting a good side. And then I'm going to rotate my feet outwards and grab hold of the big toes from the underside. So I'm going to take my fingers inside the feet and then grab the big toes. And I'm going to pull my toes outwards. Nice stretch for the bottom of the foot, for the toes. Torso still lifts nice and tall. Knees pressing down towards the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back. And release. Let's take the feet just a little bit further in front. So you're gonna make more of a diamond shape with your legs now. And let's start to fold the torso over at the hips, reaching the face towards the feet, any amount. Knees are heavy towards the ground. Crown of the head reaching towards the toes, and then you can release and just fold over. Relax the neck and head. You can even sway back and forth a little bit, open up through the low back. I think I must have slept funny last night. I am super tight in my low back and hips. And we'll inhale, reach the spine long, crown of the head forward, and then sit up nice and tall. And then we'll come over onto hands and knees for tabletop. So set yourself up here, knees directly under the hips, hands directly under the shoulders, and we'll move into cat and cow. So let's start with cow. Tuck the toes, drop the belly down, gaze forward and up, and then exhale. Round the spine, press the palms into the mat, and release. Back to cow, inhale, and exhale, cat. And inhale, and exhale. Pause in your cat. Press those palms, almost said pause, press those palms into the floor. Your Halloween cat, arch that back. Try to spread your palms apart, like you're going to rip your mat in half. Activate your lat muscles. Anytime we do chaturanga, think about maintaining this sort of posture through the upper back. And release. And let's tuck the toes, come up for our first down dog. Walk out your dog. Lengthen through the back of the legs, behind the knees, the hamstrings, the calves. And take a second to gaze forward. Look at your hands. Fingers should be spread wide. Pointer fingers pointed towards the top of the mat. Press back. Lengthen through the spine. Tailbone lifts. All at the same time, heels. Let's take 3 breaths here. With each exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the pose. One more breath. And then let's walk those feet forward with straight legs. You're going to feel a little stretch in the lats, a little stretch in the back of the legs. And let's just hang forward. A ragdoll. You can cross the arms if you like. You can sway back and forth. Then release the hands if they were crossed. Bend the knees and let's roll up one vertebra at a time all the way to standing. I'm going to take a second here. Sorry, I have my phone. I didn't turn the ringer off. Let me turn the ringer off and move that a little bit closer. All right, so let's go ahead and start our Surya Namaskar A. So we'll start in Tadasana at the top of the mat. Take a second here to lift all 10 toes. You'll feel the 4 corners of your feet pressing into the ground, arches lift. Tuck the tail, long through the spine, reach to the crown of the head, drop the shoulders. And we'll start off slow. Inhale, reach up, gaze up, and forward fold, flat back all the way down. Halfway lift, spine is long. Plank pose. Pause in your plank. Check out those shoulder blades. They should be spread wide across the back, lifted towards the ceiling. Lats are engaged. Strong through the body. Core is lifted. We're not sinking in our shoulders. We're not sinking with the belly. No arch in the back. Nice and strong. Then we slowly bend the elbows, raise the sides of the rib cage, come all the way down to the belly. And then lift cobra pose. Press into your mat with your palms, squeeze the elbows into the ribs, press through the top of the feet into the floor, and release. And then we'll press back up, find your plank pose, and lift the hips, down dog. High on the toes, bend the knees, and let's walk one more time back to the top of the mat. Forward fold, and reverse lift, reach, hands come to heart. Arms come out and up, flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, and step back, plank pose. Lower all the way down, lift for cobra, and release. Tuck the toes, back up through plank, hips lift, down dog. High on the toes, bend the knees. Let's take one last time to walk all the way up to the top of the mat, forward fold, and then reverse, lift, reach, hands come to heart. This time if you want to take the jump, feel free. If you still want to do the walk, that's fine too. And forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, plant the palms, jump or step back, chaturanga, or plank and lower down. Also, if you're ready for up dog, feel free to take that. Remember, if you're in up dog still, tuck the tail as much as you can, lift the knees, press to the tops of the feet, and then roll over the toes, press back, down dog. High on the toes, bend the knees, and make your way to the top of the mat. Reverse swan dive, lift, hands reach up, and back to heart. Arms out and up, flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, plant the palms, and move through your flow. Meet in down dog. High on the toes, bend the knees, and come to the top of the mat. Reverse swan dive, lift, reach, and hands come to heart. One last time, arms out and up, flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift. And let's meet in down dog and pause here for 3 breaths. With each exhale, press the heels down further. Lift the tailbone higher. High on the toes, bend the knees, and come to the top of the mat, forward fold. Then reverse swan dive, lift, reach, hands come to heart, and pause. So from here, we'll move into our Surya Namaskar B. I'm hot too. One more big breath here. Eyes closed. And reach the arms out and up. Forward fold, flat back. Halfway lift. Move through your vinyasa. Meet in down dog. Right leg lifts. Bend and spin that hip open. Press the left heel down. Try to keep your shoulders square to the ground. Extend the right leg. And then sweep it through in between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Lower the top of the left foot down. Reach up. Press forward through the hips. Hips are square. If you want to take your fingertips and feel those hip bones, It's okay to give yourself a manual adjustment here. Let the left leg be long through the front. Press into the right thigh. Then let's lower the left hand, raise the right arm. Little twist here, twist into the right thigh. And then release that hand. Come up onto the toe. So we're in that low lunge still. Let's come down to the forearms. Lizard. Nice stretch through the back of the right hamstring, through the right hip. If you need to put your left knee down on the ground, that's fine. And in fact, let's all put our left knee down. Chest lifts, walk that right foot out towards the edge of the mat. Place the right hand on the inside of the right thigh, and then press your right thigh away. Open up through that right hip. You're still pressing forward down into the ground as well. Weight is in the left hand. Then release that. Walk the foot back in. Come back up into that low lunge so you're high on the left toes. And from here, we're just going to extend the right leg into pyramid pose. Few breaths here. Breathe into the back of the right hamstring. And then we're going to just rotate towards the center. So we're in a wide forward fold, toes pointing forward, and come down any amount into that forward fold. Find your breath. And then we're going to walk over to the left side. So we're in this low lunge. Let's start by lowering the right knee and the top of the right foot. Torso lifts, arms come up. Again, if you want to take that manual adjustment, square your hips. Feel free to do that. Really press into the crease of the left thigh. Open up through the right quad. Arms lift. And then arms come down. Take the right hand down to the ground next to the arch of the left foot. Gentle twist here into the left thigh. Left arm lifts. And then release the twist. Hands come down. Opposite sides of the front foot. Lift the right knee off the ground, then walk the left foot over towards the edge, forearms come down, lizard pose. Again, if you want to drop that knee, go ahead. We'll be going there in just a moment anyway. Otherwise, keep it lifted, activate through the core. And drop that knee. Torso lifts, right hand towards the right edge of the mat, left foot towards the left edge of the mat. Left hand presses into the left inner thigh. Weight comes into the right hand. Open up through the hips. One more breath. And then release. Walk that foot back to center. Hands on either side of the foot and press back, lengthening through both legs for pyramid pose. Now rotate the feet and the torso back towards the long side of your mat. One more time, forward fold here. And then we'll walk back towards the right side of the mat. We're back in pyramid pose, but take that left foot, step back up for a forward fold. And rise all the way up. Hands come up, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep out and up, flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift. Move through your flow. Press back down dog. This time left leg lifts, bend the knees, bend the hips, keep the shoulders square. Extend through the left leg. Sweep that foot in between the hands. Rise up for high lunge. If you want to take that manual adjustment here, you can do that too. Hips are square, forward in front of you. Then let's extend to the front leg. Hands come down, pyramid pose again. This time let's make it a vinyasa. So we go from pyramid to high lunge. Or I suppose runner's lunge because we're not lifting the chest. Pyramid, runner's lunge. One more time, pyramid, runner's lunge. And let's take a twist here. So right palm comes down to the inside of the left foot. Twist the torso towards the left thigh. Feel that stretch on the outer left hip. Stay long and strong through the right leg. And then release. Walk over, so you're in that wide leg forward fold. Let's take a stretch over towards the right. So the left arm is going to reach for the right ankle. And then switch. Right hand reaches for the left ankle. And then release back to center. You might even see if you can get your forearms down. You might want to take the legs a little wider. Find your edge here. And then torso lifts. Walk over to the right side. We'll come into that runner's lunge. And then torso lifts. High lunge. High on the back toe. Left leg straight, right leg at a right angle. Arms come down, press back, pyramid pose. Then runner's lunge. 2 more times. Pyramid, to runner's lunge, pyramid, to runner's lunge. We'll take that left foot, step it forward, rise all the way up, and hands to heart. Arms sweep out and up, flat back, forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift, plant the palms, move through your vinyasa. Hips lift, down dog. Right leg lifts, bend and spin the hip open. Extend to the right leg. Step the right foot in between the hands. Hop, step that back foot up. We're going to come into warrior one. So back toes point to 10 o'clock. Back leg is straight. Press to the outer edge of the left foot into the ground. And then let's bend at the torso and just reach forward. Weight comes into that right foot. And we're going to move into standing split. Weight comes into the right foot. Lift the left leg back behind you. If you want to, you can try to bend that knee, bind. Find your breath, find your balance. Then release back to standing split. Bend that left knee. Let's take it behind the right knee. We're going to come down, find a seat. We're going to find the same twist we found previously. So you're sitting on your left hip, right leg crossed over the left leg, right hand behind you, twist and gaze over the right shoulder. Then we'll release that. We're going to come back up to standing split. Then just lower the left leg down for forward fold. Lift all the way up and hands to heart. Arms sweep out and up. Flat back, forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift and find your flow. Left leg lifts. Bend and spin the hip open. Extend the left leg and step it forward in between the hands. Right foot comes up ever so slightly. Torso lifts for warrior one. Press to the outer edge of the right foot. Tuck the tail. Right leg lifts, standing split. If you want to try that bind again, you reach back for the top of the foot with the left hand. Left leg stays straight. You can use your right hand for balance. And then release back to standing split. This time we tuck the right leg under the left. So bend the knee, put the right knee down, and then find a seat on the right hip. You should already be in that crisscross position with the legs. Right arm wraps around the left knee pulls into the chest. Left hand back behind you for support and find a twist. And then release the twist. You come back to standing split. So use your hands to help you get up. Weight presses into the left foot. And then right foot comes to meet the left. Forward fold. Let's take a moment here to grab the hands back behind us at the sacrum. And we're going to extend through the elbows any amount and see if we can wrench those shoulders out behind us. Think about reaching your palms up towards the ceiling, not your palms, sorry, the back of your hands up towards the ceiling. Let your head and neck release. If you're super flexible, they might even go farther. And then we'll release the hands. And we'll come up, flat back, reach up, and hands to heart. Arms come out and up, flat back, forward fold, all the way down. Halfway lift, and move through your flow. Meet in down dog. Right leg lifts, bend and spin the hip open. Extend the right leg, step that foot through, and we'll turn the left foot down to rise up for warrior two. Right angle through the right leg. Left leg extends, press into the outer edge of the left foot. Arms reach long. And then we'll reach forward and arch back. Find length through the right side of the body. And then we'll come to side angle, top of the forearm. Top of the right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. And again, reach back. And and forward, back, and forward. Now let's take the left arm back behind. I'm going to try for that bind. So I'm going to take the top of my left, I'm going to take my left palm and reach for the top of my left thigh. If you can't reach that, you can grab your shirt, your shorts, whatever you have. Think about taking that bind, really opening up through those shoulders. And then while maintaining the bind, if you can, straighten the right leg to find triangle pose. If you can't find the bind, just take normal triangle if that feels better for you. That would be with the left hand reaching towards the ceiling. And then we'll release by coming back through warrior two. And hips lift, down dog. Left leg lifts, bend and spin that hip open. Extend to the left leg. Step it forward in between the hands. Rotate the back foot down. Chest lifts, warrior two. So the hips are in an open position here. Stay low. Shoulders come away from the ears. Then reach forward and arch back, finding length through the left side body. And then come forward, side angle pose. Top of the left forearm to the top of the left thigh. Right arm overhead. And reach back with the left arm. And forward with the right. One more time, back with the left. And forward with the right. And here, if you want to take that bind, right arm reaches behind you. Right palm reaches for the top of the left thigh this time. Open through the shoulders. Stay low in the hips. And then if it's available to you, you can lengthen to the left leg and find bound triangle on the left side. Then release the bind, right arm lifts, comes back around down towards the left, plant those palms, step back and move through your flow. Hips lift, down dog. Pause here for 3 big breaths. Then let's all lower the knees, come down for child's pose. Let's take a minute here. Let those shoulders relax. Let the legs relax. We'll move into a series of some stretches. We'll do some hip openers. Have a couple shoulder things we can do. And then I think we'll end with a couple of inversions. So let's all roll up to a seat. First thing we're going to do is move into our frog pose. So for frog pose, you can start in tabletop, and it feels kind of awkward to get into, but we're going to walk the knees out towards the sides of our mat and even beyond, if you can slide, right? Kind of, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. It's sort of weird, right? So I'm coming down as wide as my knees and hips will allow, and then lower the chest. So I'm doing this sort of action with my upper body that's sort of like child's pose, right? Except I'm on my chin. And then I'm pressing back through my hips. And my legs are just like little frog legs. let your weight be in the center here. If it hurts your knees, play around. See if you can find a position that doesn't hurt your knees. If not, you can just take a child's pose, maybe a wide leg child's pose. Breathe into this opening. See if you can let go of any tension, let go of the muscles that are active, and really just release into the posture. Two more breaths here. And we'll come out of it first by bringing the palms back towards the armpits, right? And the easiest way really is just to come forward and you just kind of let your legs flop. We'll come back, press yourself back to the tops of your shins, that's what those are, and find a seat. And we'll find wide angle pose here. So on your mat, take your feet as wide as they'll go. Toes point towards the ceiling. I'm rocked forward on my sit bones ever so slightly. I have a natural turnout and my feet want to go backwards. So really think about pointing those toes upwards, even a little bit of a forward roll with the legs. Torso is nice and long. Then we'll just begin to walk our hands forward any amount until you feel like you've met your edge. And then maybe you can lower the forearms. Maybe you can lower your chest. Maybe you can lower your head. You just go as far as your body feels comfortable. Try to find ease in the pose. Easier said than done sometimes. Move your breath into the tight areas of your body. Don't forget about those feet. Keep the feet flexed. See if you can let go of any tension in your shoulders, tension in your jaw. And then let's walk back up. And we're going to reach for those left toes with the left hand. So we're reaching up and over, okay? So the left arm comes up and over while the right arm comes under. So the goal would be to grab your left toe with your left arm and sort of peek under it. So you're still opening up through the torso. You're on the top of the right hand, really reaching for the left foot with the right hand, kind of pulling your body in opposite directions, right? Stretch through the side of the left body, stretch to the right hamstring. And then from here, don't let your torso just rotate over the right knee. Take the right hand to the right foot as well. So now you've got both hands on the right foot and you've turned your torso over to face the knee. So it's now a closed position rather than an open one. And then we'll lift up, back to center, switch sides. So right arm reaches over to find the left toes. And then you're going to reach your left fingertips towards your right foot. Any amount, kind of peeking under that left arm. Full body stretch. One more big breath here. And here, we're gonna take the left fingertips without moving the torso, just rotate your torso. So it's facing the knee, both hands on the top of the left foot. Close torso. And then we'll lift back to center. All right, let me check the time really fast. I want to see what we've got. Okay, So we'll move into some shoulders and then some inversions. So we'll do a couple for the shoulders, and this one still works the hips. I think that most of you have done this with me before. So we're going to take cow face pose. So we're going to take, let's start with the left leg underneath, knees bent, pointing straight ahead. Right leg crosses over, right? So the goal is to be sitting on both sit bones with the knees stacked on top of each other. That's not for everybody. That's challenging on the hips. It can be challenging on the knees. Come as close to that posture as you can without putting pressure on, especially on your knee joint. Flex the feet. Then we're going to reach our arms out to the sides. Left arm is going to reach up behind and in between my shoulder blades, reaching back behind. Right arm is going to bend over, trying to clasp my fingertips behind me. So left elbow down, right elbow up. If you can't grasp the fingertips, grab your shirt, grab a strap, all at the same time trying to stay square in those hips. So we've been working the open hip position, and now we work the closed hip position. Find your breath. If any joints are achy, just relax them a little bit. Ease up on the posture. And then we'll release. And we're going to switch the legs. So we now take the right leg under the left. Flex the feet. Find your weight center between both hip bones. Arms come out to a T. This time, right arm comes back behind, left fingertips reaching back for that middle space in between the shoulders. Left arm reaches up and behind. Try and find those fingertips. Reach, reach, reach. If you have any shoulder issues, this might not be for you. I have a shoulder issue on this side in particular. It feels good to stretch, but not to push. So always be mindful of your body's limits and respectful of those, otherwise it leads to injury. And then we'll release and release the legs. So the next pose we're going to do, I actually don't know what the name of it is. And I hope that you can see when I do it on the ground, but I will try to show you sort of standing. So we're going to lay on our bellies. We're going to take our arms under us and we're going to cross them. So we're making sort of a T shape, but the arms are crossed under us, okay? So we should be getting a nice stretch, opening the shoulders and the triceps in front of us, right? So see if you can maneuver yourself into that position. It sounds trickier than it is, but you'll start on the belly and then you cross your right arm. So I'm going to put some pressure into my left hand to press my body up into an arch. And then I'm going to take my right arm and cross it underneath so that I'm on that right tricep. And then I'm going to take my left arm and actually I'm on the underside of my left forearm. So my left palm is touching the ground. My right palm is towards the ceiling. And then I'm just going to lower my chin and hang out. So you're making this sort of twisty pretzel shape with your arms, but if you were looking at yourself from above, you would be making a T. You're pressing into the ground with your hip bones. I'm still active through my legs. My knees are not touching the ground. Pressing into the ground with the tops of my feet. I'm still squeezing through my glutes too, so I can take some of that pressure off my low back. And then I'm going to slowly release the arms, just sort of unwind them. And maybe take a moment to settle the spine. So come down, let the arms relax, rock your hips back and forth. So wiggle around for a moment. then we'll switch position. So we'll come back up into that arch. This time I'm going to use my right hand to press my torso away. I'm going to reach under with my left arm so that now I'm on top of the left hand and the left tricep. And then the right arm is going to cross over so that I'm on the right palm. And then I just lower my chin into that sort of little nesting space that's created there. Don't forget to protect your low back by pressing the hips into the mat and squeezing the glutes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Relax the jaw. 2 more breaths. Then begin to unwind your arms and press yourself back to child's pose. You can take a wide leg child's pose if you like by taking the toes together and the knees wide as your mat. And then press back in between the feet. And from here, we're going to work our headstand. So if you want to find a wall, find a wall. If you want to work in the center of the room, that's fine too, however you want to do it. And there are a couple different ways that we can do it, right? So if we're coming from here, you can, one of the easiest ways probably, is to take your forearms down to the ground and hold them underneath you like you were going to do a forearm plank, but you're going to grip your fingers together. So you interlace the fingers, right? And then you put your head down sort of in, you make a basket with your hands kind of. So I'm sort of making a little hollow space in my hands that I'm going to press my head into, not on it, but I'm going to press into it. So I'm going to press my forearms into the ground. I'm going to put my head onto the ground, and I'm going to start just by lifting my hips, right? So you could stay here, but I want you to take a moment and notice what happens if you don't activate your lats and your forearms. There's a lot of pressure on your neck and your head. You really want to be pressing into the ground with your forearms and strengthening through the lats. So maybe you want to start just with that, if that feels comfortable. If you've been working your headstand and you can move forward into that, feel free. If you want to take a different entry, feel free. You can work it at the wall, whatever feels good for you. I'm not sure I'm feeling very balanced today. So I'm going to tuck up into a little ball and then extend my legs skyward, toes pointed. Press my forearms into the ground. There's really not any weight in my head. And then I'm just going to lower down and sit back for child's pose. Feel free to work your headstand as many times as you want. Or if you don't want, take child's pose. And when you're done, maybe just come back to Virasana, which is hero's pose, where you're sitting on your shins and you're sitting on the tops of your heels as well. Take a minute to roll out your neck and roll out your shoulders. Our last inversion, and then find Shavasana. So take a few moments to choose what you want to do. You can work your inversion or take a rest, either way. And then when you're ready, let's all find our way onto our backs. think I've done with you before. It's shoulder stand. So in shoulder stand, we come back onto our backs, and then we're just gonna sort of pike our legs up, right? So we've got legs up like so, right? But then our hands are gonna act as a brace under our backs. And we wanna walk those arms in, like when we do a bridge and we walk the shoulder blades in so that we can be on the backs of our arms. We're gonna take that same sort of feel in our arms with the feet skyward. So feet come skyward, hands press into the low back, walk the shoulders under, point those feet towards the ceiling. If this hurts your neck, you can also do shoulder stand on blankets and prop yourself up, and it does take some of the pressure off. Maybe next time I'll remember to show that demonstration. And take a moment here, sort of roll the ankles out, just reversing that blood flow. And then if it feels good to you, if you want to take plow, you can take your feet back behind you. Hands come down. It's pretty tough on the neck. I'm just going to kind of bend my feet, my knees a little bit. And then roll down with control, one vertebra at a time, all the way to Shavasana. So take a second to just set yourself up here. Turn the palms skyward, pull the shoulder blades in towards the back. Maybe shake your head no, rock it back and forth from side to side. Release any tension that might be there. Let the feet flop open. Close your eyes. And let's all find a moment of stillness. Whenever you're ready, you can roll over onto one side. Whichever side is calling your name this morning. Just take a moment to pause here before you find your way back to a seat. Come up whenever you're ready. Or if you don't want to, you can stay in Shavasana. Wherever you are, eyes remain closed. If you're seated, bring your hands to your heart. If you're still in Shavasana, maybe you just cross your hands, place them on your chest. Feel your breath. Take a moment to remind yourself of the intention that you set at the beginning of practice today. Thank you all for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Namaste.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Good stuff was
Have
awesome.
fun tonight.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. We will. I'm sure we will.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yes. All right. Bye, guys. Happy Halloween.
Halloween.